After shifting back to the village, I think I had a transformation where I started questioning a lot of what earlier seemed to make good common sense and a good set of values. I started questioning all that. In fact, where we are sitting, not very far from here, there's a small copse of trees, which is you could call it a mini forest, I think. A nice river nearby. So every morning I used to take my dogs for a walk on that side. And one morning it just sort of came to me. I looked around and saw this, lovely nature and trees and the environment. And it struck me, I said that how many trees would have been cut to sustain me in the corporate sector, to write silly memos to each other or send notices to people. And what do I have to show for that? Nothing. But look at these trees, they've been here 30, 40 years. I always say they still have something to show. They have a lasting value. What has my value been? Nothing. Okay, I've earned a salary, I've lived a good life. But I'm leaving nothing behind. And you look at nature, look at these trees. That's when my whole thinking started taking a turn. And that's when I started questioning why haven't Adivasis progressed in the material world? Today, I would still estimate that 70% of Adivasis are outside this so-called materialistic world. They're still living a rural lifestyle, still attuned to nature, still live with the seasons. They have not alienated themselves that they don't have to depend on the seasons anymore because of industry and money. And you realize that that's an enduring sense of values. Now, how can you get two separate thought processes or ways of life to merge and become one? Obviously, you don't want everyone to live in ignorance and to live, without material benefits, because we were got so used to it. It's like once you take a hot shower in the winters, you can no longer have a cold bath. But if you don't take a hot shower, you can keep having a cold bath regardless of how cold it gets. So it's the same thing with me. I've tasted would I call it benefits today? I don't know. But I have tasted the material world and what it provides. And I can't give it up.
Yeah. If I put it like this, that you started discovering your Adivasiyat after coming back to Takra.
Yes.
Would that be?
That's a very accurate description, I would say. Because before that, I now look at it as being a tourist. Even when I used to come to the village, I used to come as a tourist. You come in the morning, you go back in the evening. Earlier on, my father was alive, when we'd come and there were no roads, we used to stop at the river, have a small picnic there, then come to the village, spend the rest of the day in the village, and go back in the evening. So we were never aware of what the issues were in the village, what the joys were in the village, nothing. We just came and we left.
Yeah.
And because when we'd visit, of course, you're fed chicken or fish or mutton or something. So as a child, you always said, oh, everyone eats this every day. So that was their lifestyle. You didn't realize quite what a sacrifice it meant for them to give us that. And it's only when I shifted here, when I saw the things, I realized, and then I also realized that because today there is this strong pull away from the good old lifestyle to a more materialistic lifestyle where people have to earn money, they are not being able to exploit nature like their ancestors did. They're falling more and more into the trap of the rupee. So their poverty levels are growing. Today, a child, you see, will be given a 5 rupee packet of kurkure from the mother or the father to keep the child quiet. Earlier on, the child, if you had the same, would probably be given a fruit or something